Meanwhile, the front page of L'Équipe goes with the lucky charm captain. Mbappe's first game since the World Cup for France. First game as captain, and France defeat the Dutch by 4-0. Meanwhile, the Dutch paper go with stomachache. Obviously, the chicken curry. Oh dear. So with the reason why the Dutch lost 4-0. Do you want some exciting stats on it? Well, you're going to get it. France led 3-0 after 20 minutes and 47 seconds. That's the earliest 3-0 lead since 1953. Frank came on as a substitute in that game. The Dutch earliest 3-0 deficit since 1990. Meanwhile, the Dutch second defeat by a 4-goal margin in the last 60 years. Last one was 4-0 to France in 2017. Let's get some French perspective then, shall we, on that victory with Frank and Jules. Hey, Jules, you've been a big old critic of Deschamps, but that was a good performance, wasn't it?
It was good. There was a lot of really, really good things, starting with the lineup. We said it's a new era with Mbappe as captain. The lineup was interesting, was young, with a lot of energy. I mean, I think tactically there's even more things they can do than what we saw against a very bad Dutch team coached by a bad manager, as we all know, the Dutch guy, of course. But there was a lot of positives. At times, this French team was a little bit unbalanced, maybe, and there was a few mistakes there and there, like the penalty given away right at the end, for example. But overall, it was a very good evening, of course. And when you start a new campaign like this, a new year, I guess, calendar year with a new captain, and he falls into play, every piece of the jigsaw at the moment look good, then it has to be very, very encouraging for sure. So well done to Deschamps and the players.
What were you happiest about, Frank?
Almost everything, the spirit. I was thinking about the media, they try to make up a story in a way, with, maybe disagreement at the best, but maybe a fight between Griezmann and Mbappe for the armband, and they're not going to get along anymore together. 2 minutes of the game, assist from Mbappe to Griezmann, they hug each other, end of a story. What can we talk about, That was, for me, fantastic to see the players pattern from the first minute. I loved, I loved the third goal, the Mbappe goal, because Colomwani showed to the world that the guy anticipates before everybody. He didn't touch the ball because he saw Mbappe running, and he said, if I touch the ball, maybe Mbappe is offside. If I get the ball, maybe I don't give the opportunity to Mbappe to score the goal. I mean, that was fantastic. I fell in love in that moment with Colomwani. And after that, 4-0, perfect. I love the balance of the team. Yes, it's maybe a little bit inexperienced, but you play against the Dutch, you expect to have a hard game, and you make the game being very easy because you work hard from the first second. So very positive evening for the national team.
Have the French media tracked down the man who poisoned the Dutch yet, Jules?
You know what? Even with these players, I don't think they would have been good enough. I think the tactics were wrong. I think Frankie de Jong not being there, and that was not part of the illness, really. I think without Frankie, this team is lacks so much. There's so many things, really. And when Memphis is in that kind of form on his own up front, not helped by the rest of the team, I think it's very difficult for them. So it was very good from the French. Kylian Mbappe, for his first game as captain, I think really wanted to lead by example. Frank is right. All week we talked about the armband and the decision by Deschamps and how Griezmann was feeling, which is right. He was upset. Of course he's upset because he really believed he could be the captain. It's totally understandable. But for Mbappe to have a performance like this, again, it's not just the 2 goals and the assist. And by the way, nobody has scored 38 goals. He's just turned 24. Nobody at his age has scored that many. And if you look at the others, they were way, way below at the age of 24 than what Kylian is on now. So for him as a captain to lead the team like that at the Stade de France, there was the tribute for Varane and Lloris and Matuidi and Mandanda, which was very emotional before the game too. So it was all very, very nice.
Frank?
Yeah, just one little thing, because you always want to have the last word, dear Dan, and I won't let that go. When in 1953, I wasn't substitute. I was in the first 11. I want to tell you that.
Yeah. Full head of hair as well. What a moment that was.
That's a while back.
Yeah, it was a while back.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.